Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera or HBAR. I'm dropping the hash graph. I know it's one of those things that I've always had sort of a repetition on doing, and it's just like the idea of it's no longer called Hedera Hashgraph. But anyways, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. I first off want to talk about something that I tweeted out, and a lot of people were pretty much saying, or getting mad about, and we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be addressing it. But first off, we obviously have to address the market. It is up almost 3.4%. We are seeing Bitcoin kind of breaking out a little bit, nothing too crazy with that. And of course, we do see Ethereum actually outperforming Bitcoin right now, which is very good. And we do see the dominance levels on Bitcoin dropping while Ethereum dominance is actually rising, which of course is always good to see. Now, in terms of what is happening, okay, we also look at a lot of the altcoins turning green on the charts, and we do see HBAR kind of still sitting stable, nothing too crazy in terms of movement. It is up about 2.5%, but we're going to be talking about HBAR in terms of price appreciation because, a lot of people thought that I was being bearish yesterday on HBAR. We're going to be talking about that and we're going to be addressing it. But before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on. For anybody who is new or not new, definitely leave a like on this video as it does help the channel grow and I do greatly appreciate it. And of course, before we do fully jump into this video, I do have a sale going on right now for the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack for 20% off until Friday only. I will be having a sneak weekend, pretty much Black Friday sale. It's actually more so a Black Weekend sale for 50% off or $50 per Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack. And of course, you guys are not obligated to purchase that. I'm just letting you guys know for anybody who is interested. Now, I did tweet out yesterday 2 tweets actually. I said, if you are an HBAR holder, don't expect too much PA in the next month. I honestly think with the possibility of the lengthened cycle moves in Q1, Q2 of 2022, that this could be the golden ticket for HBAR. HBAR still has a lot more GC members to announce, and the 2022 roadmap has exciting updates. And of course, I did say, just to clarify for everyone who continues to get mad at this tweet, my targets still stand. I'm just saying that don't expect $3 to $6 end of year, not end of bull run. We could have a run into Q1 and Q2 of 2022. This would be very bullish for HBAR. And of course, with a lengthened cycle, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's not 100%, a possibility. I'm just saying we don't know exactly when the market is going to top. Of course, we can make predictions. We could say, yeah, sure, it looks like it could top here, it could top there. I've done the lengthened cycle sort of TA on this channel before. In fact, I always said that Bitcoin could essentially top around January 2022, the 22nd of January in 2022, which would lead a lot of our altcoins to run for another month or so, and a few altcoins like the OG laggard assets could run until March possibly. That would be very bullish for us because we have still a lot of roadmap updates. Now, again, when I say don't expect too much PA in the next month, I think a lot of people thought that we were going to sit stable for that next month in December. No, that's not the case. We could see $1 to $2 in December. But I'm just saying, don't expect $3 to $6 by the end of the year because we are still kind of running down on the wire and we don't have too much time left for those major gains if Bitcoin does top in December following the 4-year cycle pattern that a lot of people have been looking at. But if you do look back at 2013 compared to 2017, the time frames are completely different. In fact, the cycle did lengthen a little bit more, and it could possibly lengthen a little bit more this year. It's possible, and it's 100%, an idea to keep in mind, because if we do, that's very bullish for a lot of our altcoins, especially HBAR. It's not the fact that I'm not bullish on HBAR. Trust me, I'm still very bullish on HBAR, and I understand the HBAR ecosystem that they are building. It's very interesting to say the least. I'm just saying, I compare it to things like XRP during 2017 and 2018, because it still looks fairly similar to that. Not in the sense of the chart, but I'm just saying, during this entire time, nobody was talking about XRP in a positive light. They said, this is just getting annoying. I'm going to sell this to go into this, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people were very, angry that I tweeted those out yesterday, which is totally fine. I mean, I really don't care what anybody really thinks. I'm just going to tell you guys my overall mindset and the ideas that I have, because I think that we should, pretty much account for anything, anything in terms of a possibility, okay? But when we look at this, okay, during 2017, this made some extreme gains on XRP. It went from around a fraction of a cent or half a cent to around almost it was like 35 cents or 30, yeah, 30, almost 7 cents, sorry. And then it kind of just ranged on. And a lot of people were like, dude, this thing's doing nothing. And HBAR's done the same. You know, we went from like 3 cents in January to around like almost 60 cents already. So we have made some significant gains, but look at what ended up happening for XRP. It didn't make any major gains throughout, you know, even the beginning of December until around the middle of December. And then we hit like $1 plus, and then we hit like almost $2. It was like $2.21 by the end of December, and then we topped out in January. If we do follow the same structure, I do think that we could see a 10x on, you know, HBAR. I think that that's possible, and I do think that it aligns perfectly with Crypto Bull God's TA on that. I think $3 to $6 is still possible by the end of the bull run, just not the end of the year. Okay, the end of the year we could expect $1 to $2, which is December. Okay, I still think that that's possible. By the end of the bull run, if we have the lengthening cycle, those $3 to $6 ranges are possible. They're 100% possible, and in fact, I think that Bitcoin could even stretch even higher in terms of its price, which again allows a lot more capital to be swapped between altcoins. That's where we do see a lot of rotations happening. That's where we do see rotations into HBAR, into, you know, other altcoins as well. And I think that HBAR is going to be one of the last coins to really kind of run, similar to XRP. XRP is also one of those last coins to run, which means we could make money on other altcoins and pretty much flow that capital into HBAR as well. It's not me being bearish, it's me being realistic with you guys, because we have been sitting stable, okay? And it's going to take a little bit of time to get back to that 60-cent all-time high. Of course, it's not going to take too long, because I do suspect that this market does move very fast, which we've already seen that in the past, and it's confirmed. And I do think that HBAR is going to be one of the most bullish assets to really kind of look at during the ending cycle of the bull run. So definitely keep a close eye out on HBAR. I'm not changing my mind on things. I'm just saying, don't expect, you know, $3 to $6 by the end of December, okay? Now we also see here, HBAR, do you have metaverse companies in your portfolio? Yes, investing all 3 layers of stack, we believe will ultimately power the metaverse platforms, Ethereum Avalanche, Hedera Hashgraph, the middleware smart contract auditing firm called QuantStamp. And I've mentioned QuantStamp in the past, of course, very bullish, but obviously this is confirmation that the metaverse is huge, and when we're talking about metaverse assets, Hedera is going to be a leading name within the game, and I've always discussed this. I'm very bullish on HBAR, especially in regards to what they are building out, and of course, it's a long-term play for me. I think that HBAR should be a long-term play for anybody. Not saying don't sell and just hold long-term. I'm just saying, you know, you could always take profit and reinvest it and up your bag by 2, 3, 4x, right? Which will obviously provide a lot more profits in the long-term run. But I think the gaming scene, I think that the metaverse scene, I think a lot of the scenes that we're looking at, DeFi, Web 3.0, all of that is set for disruption. And I think a lot of these assets that a lot of people overlook, like HBAR, is going to be a leading name within that space as well. Now, we also seen a little bit of an update. Now, just to clarify this video, this is from Max Walker Williams, and essentially he's talking about this huge deal that he pretty much made regarding Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR. He's saying that they shook the hands, they didn't sign yet for legal reasons, and there's NDAs and stuff that he can't talk about. And of course, you know, this could be expected within 14 days or 2 weeks. I'm very excited for this. I'm excited to see what happens here. And a lot of people did speculate. For an example, MC, he's talking about the location of it. My guess is Sotheby's, or I don't, Sotheby's. I'm honestly, I don't know. But this is the world's premier destination for art and luxury. I've never heard of it, to be completely honest with you. And he's talking about this is huge, doesn't even begin to state the size. I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. But I will say this. I think that this could be very interesting in terms of NFTs and stuff. I think when we're talking about these, you know, smaller deals that could essentially be bigger deals, they're all pretty much blinded by NDAs. The same with, you know, even if we're looking back at ServiceNow, right? ServiceNow was 100% an NDA partnership that probably happened, you know, a while back before it even got announced. Same with all the future GC members that are pretty much working day to day probably within NDAs and, you know, the legality problems. So obviously, it takes some time. The processes are going to take some time. Same with this partnership. But I'm very excited to see what comes out of this. And like I said, a lot of this is, you know, it's a little bit of speculation, but I'm gonna say so the buys. That's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but this could be pretty big, especially if it is something within HBAR, because this does have almost 170,000 followers, which is pretty interesting to say the least. And like I said, this could be pretty big for NFTs and all that kind of stuff. Now we also see here, yes, I have abandoned Ethereum despite supporting it in the past. Yes, Ethereum has abandoned its users despite supporting them in the past. We do see here the idea of sitting around watching the burn and concocting purity test while zero newcomers can afford the chain is gross. And of course, when we're talking about this, they are talking about Ethereum being way too expensive for, you know, transaction reasons and stuff like that. Honestly, I think Ethereum has gotten to the point where its scalability problems are rising and rising and rising, and I think that this is an issue. Okay, I think that HBAR is going to be the leading name for a lot of this. I think that when we're talking about fees, everybody is paying these massive fees. We even see here, in our case, we paid a $75 gas fee to contribute roughly $75 to the project. Of the initial $200 we bought in Ethereum, $90 was eaten up in fees simply to donate to Constitution DAO. To get money back, one had to pay gas fees a second time. This is why Ethereum gas fees are way too high. They're way too expensive. This is why, you know, nobody's going to be building on Ethereum in the future. I honestly don't see Ethereum being the leading name anymore as we do march forward on in time. And say what you will, I know Ethereum's not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm just saying, I don't see it being, you know, as big as people think it's going to be without any sort of, you know, innovation happening to the ecosystem to lower gas fees at some point in time. So, you know, obviously, you know, say what you will, but we do see here, I mean, if only there was a better way. And of course, Hedera is, you know, being brought in here as the leading name. Of course, when we're talking about a lot of these other DOTs, though, you know, fees for a lot of these other, you know, networks, for an example, even Casper, I've talked about Casper. The fees are astronomically lower. They're predictable. They stay stable. Ethereum, as the price goes up and as it kind of scales its network, it's going to go higher and higher for gas fees. And trust me, I pay gas fees all the time on Uniswap and stuff to even stake and unstake. It's a problem. Okay, it's very expensive. For how much I paid in gas fees this year, I honestly probably could have bought like 50,000 HBAR at this point. So just know gas fees are an issue. And we also see here, in 2 years, HBAR has surpassed 1.86 billion transactions on its mainnet. This week, 28 million, 93% of those were through the HCS or HTS. In other words, real-world use cases. Tell me how HBAR isn't undervalued. And of course, HBAR is extremely undervalued. And this is a little bit of a meme because they said today Cardano surpassed 20 million transactions since it went live 1,522 days ago. That is 20 million transactions with no insane fees or transaction time, 20 million transactions with zero downtime, 20 million transactions on the most decentralized blockchain, which is wrong. I really don't see ADA being as big as people actually think it is. Of course, I know that it is in the top 10. I just think that Cardano is... I've discussed my problems with Cardano in the past, and I don't mean to hate on it. I'm just saying I'm not really seeing the real, you know, buy-in pressure on it for me personally. I just don't see it having as much potential as something like HBAR because we are scaling at such an astronomical rate, much lower, you know, fees compared to most DLTs, and we are the most sustainable in terms of the greenest DLT out there. And it is the enterprise grade choice, all right? And it's proven, it's a fact. It's not me being biased or anything. I just see a huge, bright future for HBAR, even though, like I said, we might not see those major high targets met in terms of price this year. I still think that there's a lot of money to be made, especially even at our current levels. A 10x from here is very possible. I think that it is more so. It's not guaranteed, of course. I'm just saying I think that a 10x from here should be expected, at least in my mind, because we have done 1,000% run already this year, but there's no reason why we can't do a much more percentage run, especially comparing it to other assets. You know, we even look at Axie doing, you know, a 23,000% run, which isn't, you know, the same thing for any other asset. We shouldn't be expecting 23,000% runs for every asset, but I'm just saying, you know, I still think that there's a lot of juice left in the tank for HBAR. You know, similar to even Matic, right, doing almost a 10,000% run. There's a lot of money still to flow throughout this market. I still think that HBAR is fairly early in this run. Of course, you know, we have to take into accountability. This is a money maker's market. If you're not making money, then obviously you need to diversify a little bit more. And I've always discussed this even with HBAR. Don't go all in on one thing. Always diversify to make more money during the entire time. That way you could pretty much flow that money into an asset like HBAR and even get more for your buck. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.